You're right. I did not see that coming. That was wholly unexpected.
We're talking about the Angels, at one point known as the California Angels, also known as the Anaheim Angels.
Yeah.
Currently known, and also at one point known as the LA Angels of Anaheim. Currently have the LA Angels. Man, it's such a mouthful. I don't know why it's so hard.
Incredibly
Because
hard.
Anaheim Angels flows, and that's the way it should be. But anyway, Brig, do you want to tell us about the history of these Angels?
Yeah. So it was a franchise option in 1961 is when they came into the league. So they have not been around very long. It's 62 years total as of right now. In that time, they have a win-loss percentage, 4,885 wins, 4,927 losses, putting them at a 498 win-loss percentage. They've had 10 playoff appearances, 1 pennant, 1 World Series victory. That was 2002. And we are going to talk about the people we think deserve to be on the all-time Angels ever list, ever, of all the evers.
Okay, before we do that, Brig, though, I have the origin of the team, of the team name.
Okay.
Okay, so this is from teamnameorigin.com. I'm just going to read it to you because it's, I don't know. Anyway, the Los Angeles was awarded an American League franchise in 1961. Gene Autry bought the rights to the new team as well as the Angels name, which was previously owned by Walter O'Malley, a previous Dodger owner.
Ooh.
Why Walt had the rights to the Angels name is beyond me, but why not, I guess. I'm sure Gene paid a pretty penny for it. And that's the thing that's always been interesting to me is like, why not name a team the Angels in Southern California?
Yeah.
Because
totally.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish at all, Los Angeles means the Angels. So it said the team started as, and this is something that I have always thought was interesting and a little bit more relevant for what we have today with the team name. The team started as the Los Angeles Angels.
Correct.
But they quickly changed to the California Angels when they moved to Anaheim in 1966. So that was just 5 years as the LA Angels. Once the Walt Disney Company took ownership in 1996, they changed the Anaheim Angels, and then there's a new ownership group currently with Artie Moreno in 2005. Again, changed to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, as we've talked about before. Again, because it's all ridiculous, just only to tap into the LA market. So
that's it.
Their lease with the city of Anaheim at the time binded them to having the city name in their name, hence the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And then it says cooler heads prevailed in 2015, which allowed them to drop the Anaheim part so they could simply be known as the Los Angeles Angels. And there was much rejoicing. Those are not my words. That's what it says on the page.
It says that on the. I thought that was you. The world
and
needs you to take
good
credit
in the
for
world
that.
again, is what it says.
Oh, that's great.
So good. All right, Brig, go ahead and lead us off with your first guy.
Hey, all right, I'm going to lead us off. My first guy that I think deserves to be on the Angels Mount Rushmore list has a career WAR of 82.4. He's been a 3-time MVP, 10-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star MVP. He's won a defensive title and a Defensive Player of the Year award, Rookie of the Year, 9 Silver Sluggers. He has been the Major League Player of the Year as well. He throws right. He bats right. He's 6'2", 235 pounds, and is the current center fielder for the Anaheim Angels, Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. I have Mike Trout on my list as well.
Yeah. Let's get it out of the way, I say.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And I don't think there's anybody really in the history of the franchise who's more deserving than Mike Trout.
Zero. There are 0 people more deserving than Mike Trout.
Especially since he's going to finish his career there. I don't know that he necessarily deserves to be middle with his face prominent, because I have somebody who deserves that spot instead.
Okay.
But, and if Mike Trout makes it to the World Series, he doesn't have to win it. He just has to make it to the World Series, because the franchise only has 1 appearance. Yes, they won then.
Yeah.
But if he gets the team another World Series appearance,
yeah,
lights out.
100% lights out. He spent 12 years with the organization. That's his entire career. He's been there. He's going to finish it out there, which was, I know, an it's a difficult financial position for the franchise, but it's a terrific branding and marketing perspective or approach. The problem is he needs an image coach. He needs a PR support team or something. He released something the other day. I sent it to Brad. And I was
they were doing a giveaway, right?
Yeah, and you could tell he was reading it, and that was all the life he brought to the party. And the rest of it was just so dull and boring. And I thought, Mike, you could be so much, Mike. And I get it. He doesn't want to be. Clearly, he's had opportunities. He's made it very clear through apathy, if nothing else, that he doesn't want to be the head honcho, king poo, face of everything. Well, fine. He doesn't have to be. I'm just saying he could be.
And this is one thing that I've thought about too, is that like, and maybe Major League Baseball is like, he doesn't want to talk. He's not necessarily great at public speaking. We don't want him to. You can put him in front of a camera. He never has to speak a word.
It's true.
Because he is so recognizable among baseball fans, and just having him be recognizable among non-baseball fans would be an absolute game changer. Because non-baseball fans have no idea who Mike Trout is.
But everybody knows who Aaron Judge is, just by contrast.
Shohei Ohtani.
And
I'm sure Trout's fine with
Tatis Jr. But,
yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. I maintain Major League Baseball is missing out on a massive opportunity by working with PlayStation to paint Mike Trout with white paint with red stripes and calling him the God of War.
100%.
Has been for a very long time.
But yeah, you've been making that point for years. With an 82.4 career WAR? Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's insane. And I know WAR isn't everything, but my goodness, does it go a long way in explaining, telling the whole story. So anyway.
Yep.
All right, Brad, we crossed over on that one.
My last thing with Mike Trout, I feel like he is like the poster child of WAR.
For sure.
That he's like the reason that stat is popular and mainstreamed and people understand what it means. Like, just look at Mike Trout. That's like the definition of WAR. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's a problem.
Yeah, he's a problem. And when he's not there, that's a problem.
Exactly.
Either way, it's a problem.
Yep. Okay. I will go with so Mike Trout was going to be one of my first two. I'll go with my other one that I was going to do in this part of the segment. This guy was born in the Dominican Republic, February the 9th, 1975. That's why Mel and I were actually married on February 9th, because this is her favorite player.
Oh, I know who it is. Yeah,
I
thought so.
He was born on February 9th, but that's not why we were married that day. But anyway, this is Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, MVP, 9-time All-Star, Home Run Derby champion, 8-time Silver Slugger. Vlad Guerrero goes down in history as the best bad ball hitter to ever play baseball.
Oh, that's the truth.
The dude was hitting curveballs that were bouncing off the ground in front of home plate. Like, you don't see it.
Yeah.
You don't see it. Ichiro was a great hitter, one of the greatest all time, but he could not hit bad balls the way that Vlad could because he was leaning out of the box as a lefty.
Yeah.
But man, Vlad stuck in there and he was he was committed to those pitches and he could make the adjustments. Yeah. And I don't feel like that's the part that he gets the credit for, is being able to adjust that quick, his body and his swing, and still put solid contact on the ball. Come on now.
True, man.
Unreal.
It's true. That's a good point. And when you look at his swing and his stance, it's just beautiful. You can tell with his elbows up so high that he's just waiting to scoop up anything. He looks like a vacuum. His position, he's just great. Anyway, and he hit everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was one of those guys who, I mean, speaking of being a problem, he's one of those guys you knew every time he came up to the plate, it was going to be a problem for you, especially late in the game. That as a Mariners fan, watching him with the Angels, it's just like, dude, just like, can you like not for once?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, he's gonna go down as an all-time Angel, and I feel like he definitely deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore there.
I think you're right. I like that pick. How many do you have left?
I have 2 more.
Okay, I have 3. So let me go one more time, and then we'll take a break. Ahead. Okay. All right. My next guy did not spend his entire career in Anaheim. Okay, that's my first caveat. Because I really like doing that if I can, but I just can't with the just not enough.
What?
Nobody stayed in Anaheim
That's
enough
what I didn't
to
say
do
that
it.
that
Yeah,
nobody had very long careers there. Like Vlad was there for like 8 years, and that was it.
yeah, yeah. This guy was there for, let me count. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 years in Anaheim as well. Anyway, career WAR 81.3, my friend. 81.3. Also a massive problem. 8-time All-Star, 2-time ERA title, 1969 World Series, but not with the Angels. He is in the Hall of Fame. He earned the nickname the Ryan Express in an Angels hat. I got to give it to Nolan Ryan. I have to.
I feel like it's valid too, because there were two teams that he had the most success with. It was the Angels, and I believe the Astros. Right? Was the
Yeah.
other team that he had much of his success with?
Yeah.
So I think it makes absolute sense. I didn't include Nolan Ryan,
Yeah.
but I think mostly just because I feel like he deserves to be on the Astros Mount Rushmore more than he would be on the Angels or even the Rangers.
I was going to say the Rangers as well, but I think I put him on both of those Mount Rushmores already anyway. He's going up on 3 for me. Sorry. Nolan Ryan. I'm a huge Nolan Ryan junkie. For those of you that don't know about Pop Fly Pop Shop, I will show you after the break. I'll pull it out and I'll show you exactly what it is. The Ryan Express is a big deal for me. He was a 5-time All-Star in Anaheim, and it was in Cy Young voting the whole time he was there, and just terrific. We couldn't say enough good things about Nolan Ryan. I shouldn't have to. If you don't know who Nolan Ryan is, before now, so if you're new to baseball or new to the history of baseball, then you really need to go look up Nolan Ryan and his career statistics to understand how dominant he was compared to not only his contemporaries, but absolutely blowing current pitching out of the water in just about every statistical category. So it's really, he's an important character to note.
So here's a couple interesting things with Nolan Ryan. He holds the record for the lowest hits per nine ever over his career, 6.6 hits per nine, which is enormous because he threw so many no hitters. That's why he's there. But it is. I've always thought it's interesting. He never won a Cy Young award.
Right.
Bonkers. But then he's also kind of like got a Cy Young thing going here, right? Cy Young is known as the winningest pitcher ever. He's got more wins than everybody, but he's also got more losses than anybody.
Correct.
Nolan Ryan, true to power pitching form, has more strikeouts than anybody in the history of baseball, 5,714, but he's also got more walks than anybody, 2,795. Kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing, but also, like I said, the power pitching thing, that there was a while in his career where he really struggled with his control. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years where he led the league in both strikeouts and walks.
Yeah, right, exactly. But he also he has a career ERA of 3.19, which is admirable over the career of 27 years.
That's the thing that's craziest to me.
It's not like he had a 3.19 over 12,
right,
which would be normal, right? For those of you trying to calibrate that at home, a 12-year career would be reasonable in today's age. He pitched for 27 years.
Yeah,
like, and he has a career WAR or ERA of 3.19.
When I found out that he was a rookie in 1966, and I got to watch him as a kid in the 90s,
yeah.
like that blew my mind. It's like, wait, what? I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Nolan Ryan threw 4 no-hitters in the Angels uniform.
Just for the Angels.
Just for the Angels.
Yeah. Yep.
4. Okay. Put him on the mountain, Brad. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Brad's going to tell us more about his opinions. Welcome back, baseball family. We're talking about the Angels Mount Rushmore. For those of you Angels fans out there, we really need to know, are we way off the mark here, or do you agree with us? Because we're pretty sure we're right. But we have a mailbag where you can come at us if you want to. You can. It happens all the time. You can also drop stuff in the description or in the comments box on YouTube if you're watching here, or on Instagram or whatever. TikTok, wherever you find us, and let us know what you think for the Angels Mount Rushmore. But so I'm going to go first, or Brad's going to go first, and then I'm going to do two, unless we overlap somehow, which is entirely possible. And then Brad wants to go last, so we've kind of switched up the back and forth on us a little bit. Brad has a special request; he wants to be the one to go last. So go ahead, Brad. Give me one of yours, and let's see if we overlap.
Okay, so I have two left. My first one might be somewhat controversial. I don't know. But this is a player who has only been in the league for but a few years. And you knew I was going here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. He's got 5 years under his belt, but he's already got an MVP, Rookie of the Year, 2-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, Major League Player of the Year, Shohei Ohtani. I don't know how you can't, like, he could leave after this year and he would still belong on the Angels Mount Rushmore because of what he did in an Angels uniform to make them nationally relevant when their best player and one of the best players in the league, like we talked about, was not marketable.
Absolutely.
And everybody knows who Shohei Ohtani is because everything he's doing, the only benchmark we have for it was Babe Ruth, and he's doing it better.
He is doing it better. He has a career WAR of 24.8 already, just in a handful of years. Mm-hmm. He has led the league in all sorts of statistics as a pitcher and at the plate. And doing both of those together is just unprecedented, which is why I also put him on my list, Mr. Brad.
Very good. Excellent. As he should be. And the thing that's funny is, like, we can't talk about him for very long just because he hasn't had that long of a career yet. But every time he steps out on the field, there's a chance for history to be made. I mean, there's always a chance for history to be made. But it's literally like nobody has ever done what he has done before. Nobody has ever struck out 16 batters and hit 3 home runs in a game. But I'm sure that Shohei Ohtani is going to do it.
Oh, yeah. If anybody, right? He's the only one that could.
he's the only one who could do it. And I think he's going to do it at some point.
I agree. Okay. Since we agreed on that one, and since I had 2 slots left, I'm going to go ahead and throw my honorable mention out here before I do my official 4th pick. Is that cool?
That's cool. Go ahead.
Okay, my honorable mention edged out narrowly by a couple of these other names, but my honorable mention was also a Rookie of the Year, also spent 12 years or 14 years in the league entirely in an Angels uniform. 2002 World Series. He led the team to the 2002 World Series, and that is an enormous part of why he gets as much consideration. Career WAR 40.5, right field, Tim Salmon. Tim Salmon is, honestly, if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, he would be easily on this list.
Yeah. So he was one of my honorable mentions. He was like my 6th guy. But for me though, it was like I said before, I was a big Tim Salmon fan. I wasn't an Angels fan, but I liked Tim Salmon because I was familiar with him. And there are guys who you associate with different uniforms. He's the one I associate with the Angels, at least until recently, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's solid. I think it's a solid honorable mention, Brig.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Okay. I forget that I get to go again. This is so fun. My next guy also has spent 19 years in an Angels uniform.
As a manager.
Yeah.
Oh, what a guess.
Yeah. How did you get there? Wow.
Can't think of anybody else who's been with that team for that long.
Exactly. World Series manager, 2-time manager of the year. He brought them their pennant that they have, and it's Mike Scioscia. You just can't talk about the Angels' history without talking about him. He began his managerial career in Anaheim in the year 2000. He was relieved of his position in 2018 at the end of that season. Was midway through the season or at the end of that season? I don't remember. I think it was at the end because they won and lost 80 and 82 games. So
yeah, that was the end of the season.
Anyway, he is not only the longest tenured manager in the history, but he's obviously the winningest manager. His personal win-loss percentage is 536 overall, and a team that has a below 500 win-loss percentage overall, that is a big part of why he belongs on this list. You can't talk about the Angels' history without talking about Mike. You just can't.
Right. I absolutely agree with you. And the whole time he was there, the Angels were, well, I don't want to say the whole time because those last couple of years kind of got brutal. But for most of the time, the Angels were a formidable contender in
Yeah.
the AL West. That
Yeah.
he kept them competitive for just about the entire time he was there. Even though like they obviously peaked in year 3, they
Yeah,
were
for
a
sure.
problem for the AL West for most of the time he was there.
They had a below 500 record with him there 1, 2, 3, barely 4, 5, 6, 7 times if you count the last 3 seasons that were pretty rough, which we've talked about. But
Well,
out
those are
of
just
19 years,
barely too.
yeah, out of 19 years, he was at
Mhm.
or around 500 or above or at 500. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he was another fixture for my wife with the Angels. She's like, I love Papa Socia.
Yeah.
She loved
Yeah.
Mike Socia so
Right.
much.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
Yeah.
Brought the team
Yeah.
any winning hopes at all.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think he deserves to be off to the right or left hand side of the Mount Rushmore. Anyway.
Excellent.
All right, Brad. The world awaits, my friend. Which
Okay.
controversial pick are you going to swing at us?
All right. So this thing has been around for a long time. Okay. Iconic around the league, the nation,
Okay.
taking the whole thing by storm, made its first appearance in the 2002 World Series run.
Okay.
I submit that the World Series MVP of 2002 was not Troy Gloss, but instead was my 4th nomination for the Mount Rushmore for the Angels. It's the Rally Monkey. The Angels would not have won the World Series if it was not for the Rally Monkey. The Rally Monkey persists 20 years later. And Brig, you can buy a Rally Monkey, I know for sure, at every Cactus League team store. At least you could 2 years ago when we bought one.
Oh no.
Because Wilson had to have it. Had to have the Rally
man.
Monkey. I was like, it's fine. We'll get one. But for a while, you saw Rally Monkeys all over the entire league with every uniform on. And it started in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And they still play the Rally Monkey on the Jumbotron in Anaheim.
Bro, you're right. I did not see that coming. It was wholly unexpected.
And you were waiting, leaning into the screen on that one.
I was like,
What?
don't say the bullpen cart or some
No.
dumb thing. And then you did. I was imagining a bullpen cart with the baseball bats holding up the half shell. Like, I was like, how are you going to carve that into the mountainside?
No, Rally Monkey. The Rally
It's
Monkey
way
is my
better.
4th spot.
It's way better.
And I actually feel like the Rally Monkey deserves to be middle and prominent. Because if it had not been for the Rally Monkey, the Angels don't have a World Series title. They're 0 for 1 in the World Series. Instead, they're 1-0 in the World Series.
Oh my gosh, dude, that
You're
is
welcome.
so good. You're welcome. Well, okay. Okay, baseball family, tell us what you think about the Rally Monkey. You can drop it in the comments. You can hit us up on the mailbag at baseballtogether.com.